quote, I would love to play with him, and hopefully that will be a reality soon, end quote.
Oh.
Steph and Wardell Curry on the idea of playing with LeBron James.
It's pretty good.
Okay, so what do you make of that? You know, they're allowed to talk about him now because he's a free agent. Steph could have said anything. He's going to be respectful, but sort of adding in the, hopefully that'll be a reality soon. Is that just kind of respectful, dismissive way to get out of the conversation? Or do you take it at face value that there is hope?
I take it at face value, and I also take it that they've probably had a conversation, and, the feelings are mutual, and the mutual feelings are not necessarily the only thing that has to happen.
Well, he confirmed that they spoke. So right before that quote is this: we've obviously talked. He deserves all the patience and space to figure out what he wants to do as his career winds down. We all understand and appreciate that.
Of course.
There it is.
So, if you are loving to play with him and hopefully that will be really a reality soon, well, it has to either be soon or not at all, because Steph has this year, he'll probably get one more after that. He might get one more after that. Is LeBron going to play till he's 44 or 45? He's allowed to, and he's fit enough to do that. But yeah, soon would be better than later. Like 2033, you're not going to play with LeBron James in the NBA. I don't believe. Maybe in the big three. Shout out Amy Trask in the 3-on-3 league.
Look, this'll rattle some cages. I know this, but okay. Let me enter this into the conversation, because I know Warrior fans are worried about the idea of Anthony Davis for reasons of health and money. Okay, Anthony is signed for essentially 2 more seasons, this upcoming season, and then he's got a big $62 million player option the year after that. This extension that everyone's worried about, I don't know how long it is, and I don't know if it's max. And even if you did end up with Anthony after that, and let's say Steph is retiring and Draymond is moving on or whatever, like, he would still be, in theory, the only expensive thing on your roster. He would be 34, 35 years old. What to do about that? It's not perfect. Is it backbreaking? I don't necessarily think that. Okay, you can work your way into this. What if LeBron's not coming for 1 year?
He's coming for 2.
What if it's 2? Does that change your thought on it at all?
Not really. My
okay.
only trepidation, my only hesitancy is the Anthony Davis piece, and it's because he doesn't tend to play a lot of basketball. Last year it was 20 games. The year before it was 42, and the year before that it was 76. Very nice, but he will need an extension, and I do believe it will be a max based on what I've read, and he'll be 34 in March.
So here's why I mentioned that. What if the Warriors did get to a spot where they're like, we will discuss multiple first-round picks, and we would discuss it, but one of them is next year's, where A, not supposed to be the greatest draft, and B, you would still be in the midst of all of your Stephing and LeBroning and ADing. So, like, is a first-round draft pick at that point as valuable as they will be after that? So what if that was, let's say you gave up 2 and that was one of them? How does that make you feel?
Makes me feel better.
Okay.
I have a feeling that it will be more than 2, but taking your premise, if it's 2 and one is next year, and yes, you have Anthony Davis and now you have LeBron, you've got Draymond and Steph and Pods. Of course, you have to always make sure that he's thrown in there because he played all 82. That team is not going to win the title, but they're probably not in the lottery. I'll say that. And so the pick that you have to confer to Washington might be 19 or 18 or 19. So that stings a little bit less. I'll give you that.
Trying to figure out if they can't come. Let's say they are talking and the sides won't budge. Who has the leverage? Washington or Golden State? Who's looking at a more uncomfortable reality if they can't get this done? And then what the hell does LeBron do? Like, I don't know about you. We can pull this apart and go team by team. I don't understand the Philadelphia thing. And
Why is that?
Because it's rando. I do not believe for 1 second that all LeBron is doing, that the only thing he's doing is trying to figure out where he can win. Because quite frankly, Philadelphia is not it either. I love that everybody's looked at this and gone, ooh, that's where he can win. No, it's not. San Antonio is.
Philadelphia in the East, if you want to just look at the East, like Philadelphia with LeBron, they've got a really good live chance, I believe.
San Antonio with LeBron is book it. Damn near book it.
But he's not going to San Antonio.
Why not?
Because I don't think
it's not about money, take a minimum deal.
Right, and it's not about money, I don't think. I don't know what it's about. It's either about playing with your buddies here or going home to Cleveland or, Miami, like with Bam and Giannis. Like, that's a live team. If I'm LeBron, I'm thinking wherever I go, that team is better.
Right, but do you notice that all the other teams we talk about, there's some sort of an emotional tie? There's Cleveland, it's home. It's Miami, it's where I used to play. Golden State, it's LeBron, it's Steph, it's Draymond, it's close to home. Is there a dark horse out there? Maybe. I don't know. The element of surprise, I think, is a piece of this. Philadelphia? Like, I'm sorry. I cannot get my head around it. And we'll talk to them here coming up at 3:15, Joe DeCamera, WIP. But explain to me how Philadelphia winter, angry fans, and zero emotional tie is how LeBron wants to end his career? I just don't see it.
If you go to Philadelphia and you do the improbable, which is win the championship. Sure. They haven't won since 1983. Now you have cemented yourself. First of all, you've won 4 titles in 4 different cities, more than 4, but 4 different cities. You've won a title. And now in Philadelphia, you are a god. Like, you are an automatic legend. I don't know if that appeals to him.
Yeah. Do I want to be a god in Philadelphia?
I don't know what appeals to him.
Would I even be the best player on the team? I don't think he'd be the leading scorer.
But it wouldn't matter because he went there and they won a title when he went there.
Brother, I hear you. I just don't like, and I don't know LeBron, but that sounds odd to me. Will you talk to me about Miami, Cleveland, Golden State, and even a dark horse play? Something else West Coast related. I have no idea what. But Philly? The second I've heard that, I'm like, that does not sound like LeBron James to me at all.
Yeah, I don't see it that way because, somebody who joined us earlier talked about him being Teflon. And I do think that he is untouchable to the extent that no matter what he does, he'll be criticized. But at the same time, like, you're the all-time leading scorer in the association and you've already won titles in 3 different cities. So go where you want to go and you'll get criticized no matter what. But I do look at that team and think about Embiid, if healthy, which is always a gigantic if, and you've got Edgecombe, and you've got Maxey, and then you'd have LeBron. And I think about the Eastern Conference being pretty wide open year in and year out. So if you're looking at a path to the finals, your path is much clearer in Philly than it is in Miami and maybe than it is in Cleveland. Certainly, it's clearer than it is here in Golden State.
And we all have our process of thinking what LeBron's thinking. I don't think this is solely about championship opportunities. I don't. And I fully subscribe to, if it was, it still wouldn't be Philly. Because we've all bought into this as like, oh, Philly is where you can win. Yeah, based on a concocted list that you all made up, Philly is not your best opportunity to win. San Antonio is. Or Oklahoma City
or
is.
Or even Denver.
Right.
Honestly.
Like Philadelphia, and I'm going to go to angry fans and snow? Like, and I have no tie to this city at all for my retirement tour? With Joel Embiid? Like, I don't know. It's just where my mind goes. I'm like, I can't. I would bet a lot of my Kalshi dollars it is not Philadelphia.
I would agree, but I do see the appeal. I see the appeal because you do have, you have a young core of players who are all really good. And again, Joel Embiid has to be healthy, but Maxey and Edgecombe and LeBron and Embiid, that's a very intriguing core 4.
Right, but that, does it appeals to what you think appeals to him.
I have no idea what appeals to him.
So it might appeal to you if you were him. But based on the LeBron that we know, where every move is calculated and has some sort of an emotional reason behind it, and he doesn't care about money, he wants joy. and wants to be near his family and golf. Philly?
Doesn't check a lot of those boxes.
I'm just like, I don't see it.
Well, honestly,
I could be wrong.
No, and somebody's going to be wrong. Either he's coming to the Warriors Kalshi trade will be right, or it'll be wrong. And I do think that he will play this year. But if you looked at the situation through my eyes as a guy who's already the GOAT or the second GOAT, whatever, you've won all you need to win. You've done everything you need to do. What would I want to do? I'd want to go where they have great wine here, where they have great golf here. Turns out he's addicted to the game. And go play with my buddies here and play for a head coach who, much like LeBron, he doesn't need to go out there and prove it. Steve Kerr, you need to prove you can win a title with LeBron or else you're not an elite coach. Like, this to me is like the retirement tour stop that I would look for, but I'm not him.
Yeah, right. I mean, that's the sort of X factor is none of us actually know what's making him tick. We can all make the list. I don't know what the order of the list is. Close to family, fun with friends, championship opportunities, money. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I think it's funny, though, that we spent the better part of a year talking about how he doesn't want to be too far from his family, and then somehow got to a finalist list of Cleveland, Philadelphia, and Miami. I'm pretty far from your family.
I mean, the family can move.
But pretty far from your family.
Right.
Pretty far from your family.
Exactly. And does he, I think he still has a kid in high school, his daughter,
correct.
if I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
I don't know how old she is or how much she likes Southern California, but
they've announced that he will remain a resident of Los Angeles.
Okay.
No matter what.
Right. So you play, Cleveland takes on the Pacers, 7:30 Eastern. Game's over, and you want to go see the kids because you have a couple days off, and you go ahead and fly back in time, and you're there in about 5 hours.
If your plane can get out because there's an ice storm. Okay.
Yep.
Again, I don't know. But I'm trying to figure out why it's playing out this way. Why are we waiting? Why are people saying what they're saying? And if it is so obvious, then you would just do it. Whenever I hear Shams, Cleveland, Philadelphia, Miami, okay, that means somebody wanted Shams to say Cleveland, Philadelphia, and Miami. And then Rich Paul's like, let's get Bob Myers on. Let's get Bob Myers on. They're talking to somebody. They're just not talking to each other.
No, they're talking to everybody.
That's exactly right. So when Rich Paul's talking to Bob Myers, Rich Paul's not talking to Bob Myers. Their conversation is meant to be heard by someone else.
He's a conduit.
Who and why?
Everyone, and it's because they still want everyone to do more. And if it's Philly, maybe it's as simple as, LeBron will go there if you do this and or that. And for Golden State, it's, he'd come there, but he's going to need the unibrow to be there. So why don't you go ahead and up your offer to Washington for Anthony Davis, or we're going to talk to Bob Myers on a podcast.
Or hey, Washington, why don't you lower your demand?
It could be either or.
Absolutely, it's both.
When he calls Cleveland, or Rich Paul's like, "Hey, Cleveland, we're going to need the beard to not only shave but to play for someone else." Because my guy doesn't want to play with James Harden.
Okay, you're on to something here, too, that we haven't even touched on yet, which I want to get to in a sec, but I want to welcome in our listeners. 888-957-9570. Matt in San Jose. Hey, Matt, what's going on today, bub?
I'm chilling, man. I got a day off, so I'm just, enjoying a little ride around town.
Hey, good on you.
Nice.
So, look, I think there's a human issue to the idea that we're conditioned to think so negatively. Like, there's a list of ideas of why LeBron isn't coming and why it could be a bajillion other teams. But we don't do those same gymnastics to figure that maybe he is coming. So to your point, Willard, I agree. I think you're onto something. Windhorst already said LeBron knows where he's going. It doesn't make any sense to delay for Cleveland. Mitchell just signed for $1 gajillion. Doesn't make any sense to delay for Miami. They already got Giannis. Doesn't make any sense to delay for Philly. They already got Jaylen Brown. They already figured – all the other teams already figured it out. The only team that still got stuff jumping up in the air is the Warriors. So maybe in the end he's using his leverage to help the Warriors as opposed to work against them.
Matt, I think it's all well said, and it leads to this perfectly. Good to hear from you, bud. What about this? And I don't know to what level this matters, but you're bringing up the idea of LeBron not wanting to play with James Harden. Let's look at it through the other lens. These teams all currently have big-time players on their roster, all of them. Let's spotlight the 4 that get talked about the most. But by the way, I'm not closing the door on some others. But let's spotlight the Warriors, the Heat, the Cavs, and the Philadelphia 76ers. They've all got big-time, highly paid assets, right? So let's talk about those players, because each of these teams is going to be loyal to those players. And in today's NBA, they're going to have to be aware of the wants and desires of their players who have been paid, right? All right. So let's start with hometown, the Cleveland Cavs. Do you think that Donovan Mitchell and James Harden, Eastern Conference finalists, do you think that they want LeBron on their team?
I would imagine that Donovan Mitchell wants it more than James Harden. James Harden has always been ball dominant, and Donovan Mitchell is a guy who likes to have the ball and be able to dictate. So do they want to? Probably not at the same level that they would, want a less demanding player.
I'm not going to tell you you're right or wrong. I have no idea, but
right.
This is a thought process.
And don't sleep on Evan Mobley, who is making 50 this upcoming year, and he's got 3 more years after.
Right, although he might have to not be on the team anymore also if the Cavs are going to financially make it work.
Yep.
All right, next one, Philadelphia 76ers. Do you believe that Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey, and Jaylen Brown all want LeBron James on the team?
And you got to throw in VJ Edgecombe as well, because he's a young rising star.
Yeah, but he's not paid yet. So, they
have less of a say, I get that.
You're not calling the shots yet.
So Jaylen Brown left Boston maybe because there's only one basketball, and he and Jason Tatum both want to be that guy. Steiny and Goo earlier had a conversation about how Jaylen Brown led the league in field goal attempts. And so if you have LeBron in town, and already Maxey, Edgecombe, and Embiid, Jaylen, you're not going to lead the league in field goal attempts next year.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Giannis Antetokounmpo, famously hesitant about being a second fiddle to the size of Steph Curry's presence in the room. Does Giannis want LeBron in Miami?
He's probably already having conversations with Bam Adebayo about his 83-point game and saying, well, that's not happening again, Bam, because I'm here, and the offense goes through me. So probably not.
Okay, now let's come to Golden State. Does Steph Curry, Draymond Green, and Jimmy Butler want LeBron James on the team?
I think they do. I mean, Jimmy Butler is probably hesitant because if they were to get Anthony Davis, he'd be on his way out. I don't know Jimmy well enough to know what makes him tick, but Steph and Draymond, absolutely. Draymond Green is currently playing Yahtzee with LeBron in an undetermined location.
I just packed Yahtzee for the trip that we're taking.
Great game.
It's a great game.
It's elite.
It's a great game.
Nice roll, King. That's a large straight.
Yeah, even when it's not.
Right.
Yep, they're all 5s. Okay, I think that's a piece of the puzzle. Which of these teams can just be yep, open arms?
Well, in the teams, you're looking at it from the players on the team's standpoint. And
that's what I'm saying.
And I like that angle because not that Donovan Mitchell can march upstairs and say, no, this is not happening.
He can't? He can march up there and be like, no, thanks.
Yes.
You just gave me $250 million. I've got to say in this room.
And I do think that those sentiments, as Cleveland is in the mix, I'm sure that Donovan Mitchell, through his agent, has let them know how he feels. And that's where this quote today from Ron Kroichick, and friend of the program, great job out there in Tahoe. I would love to play with him from Steph Curry, and hopefully that will be a reality soon. So Steph Curry and Draymond Green, do they want to play with LeBron James? Yeah. Hello, the Olympics are on the phone. Steph Curry was the hero, and Draymond Green was in the second row hitting night-nights. You remember that?
Oh, yeah. There are more quotes in here, too, about
From the chef?
Yeah, go down the road if you don't get him. And how would you feel? And all of that anxiety everyone feels about Steph's going to want to leave and Steph's going to want to go somewhere else and try to win a ring. And would you be pissed at the front office and all that? We'll get to that here coming up at 3.
I see a quote in here, too, where, Steph says, if LeBron has to come and take the mid-level, I have an extra bedroom in case he's struggling to make ends meet. That might be only in the online version.
Yep. They could redo the house.
They could.
Kids are growing. So,
that's right.
You know what I mean? Which one of them gets to share a room with Uncle Bronny?
It would be Cannon, and LeBron can go ahead and teach him all his techniques.
Yep. I am fascinated by this thought exercise. And the core of where my head is today is, why is the pace what it is? I am of the opinion that that's not nothing. I don't think that's just LeBron being a dork. I don't. I don't think that LeBron is like, what would be really funny is just to let the whole world talk about me and let's play a game, Rich. How long can we dominate the news? And you know what?
Not 5, not 6, not 7 days.
Maybe they are that immature. Maybe. But I don't think so. I think that there is a reason this is taking so long. I don't know what the reason is, but that's my best guess. He's waiting for a different shoe to drop. And I just don't know what shoe needs to drop with any of these other teams. And it makes total sense from the standpoint that's like Washington's thinking, we don't, why did it go in the order that it did? Kevin O'Connor, Shams, AD, 2 days later. We have no interest trading Anthony. Why did it take 2 days? The reporters definitely called you right away. Did it take 2 days because you were on the phone with the Warriors and you didn't like what they said?
Exactly.
And why did that go public? Because you wanted somebody to hear we have no intention of trading Anthony Davis.
Right. So these other teams can, circle back and try to pursue LeBron James even more.